I've been playing a lot more Dead as Disco as this game has come out, and there's been some fun things that has come out of this game. There's been so much content, so many no-hit runs, so many mods available for this game. Dead as Disco is doing so many good numbers. I think it sold over 200,000 copies on release, and this has been a lot of fun to play. This is one of those games I can just show up and play a few rounds. It's a great arcade game to kind of get the best score or kind of unlock more things. So I finished most of the story stuff for right now. I've just been kind of unlocking stuff as I go, but I wanted to rank all of the current boss fights so far to tell you what my favorite boss fights are, based off music, based on the fight itself, and just kind of give you just a general ranking of how I feel about them so far. And of course, I'm going to update this video as new bosses come out, but for now I'm going to rank all 4 of the current boss fights, starting with the last one going all the way up to the first. Admittedly, I am not the biggest fan of K-pop in general. I watch K-pop Demon Hunters and I heard Soda Pop and Golden like 5 million times, so I don't hate K-pop. It's just not a genre of music that I listen to consistently, so that's not a knock on this particular boss fight. So I really like the spectacle of what Arora does in this boss fight, because she's essentially a sentient robot AI and you're having to fight a giant version of herself, also fighting robots at the same time. But I don't like the music as much as the other types of music that is presented in this game. One of the things I mentioned already is that the meteors are really annoying, because even when you perfect dodge, you still get hit by them. Although the devs recently did put out a patch that does fix this error, so when you do a perfect dodge, you will not get hit by the meteor. So I'm glad that they noticed that, and I'm glad more people had that problem. I was hoping I wasn't gonna be the only one that had that problem. I'm so glad that they noticed that and decided to patch that out. The giant waves that she shoots out, even from herself and also the bigger version of herself, wasn't as fun as I wanted it to be. The enemies are kind of more spread out, so trying to chain combos isn't as fun as when you're in kind of an enclosed space. There are some stage transitions, especially towards the middle section of the boss fight when you're fighting more of the robots and you're kind of more in this abyss enclosed pool area, but it's just not as fluid as I wanted it to be. And then I think the tempo of the music is a lot slower than the rest, and so trying to chain combos, trying to stay on the beat isn't as fun or isn't as fluid as I wanted it to be. The music isn't as punchy. The music isn't as punchy as I really wanted it to be. So again, this is not a knock on the genre itself. I'm just not the biggest fan of K-pop. I do like the song that she's singing, but it's just not as fun as the other different fights. There's some annoyances in the boss fight itself when you're fighting Rory and fighting the bigger version of herself. That's why this is one of the least memorable fights of this game. It's one of those fights I really don't want to do as much as the other ones. Again, something had to be at the bottom of the list, and it just happens to be Rory. So let me know if this is going to be at the top of your list. So I'm curious to know how you feel about Arora. It is strange that Hemlock, out of all of the other bosses, doesn't get an original song, even though when he has an original song in the game. It's called Authority and it's really nice, but he gets a cover of Maniac, which Maniac is a really fun song for this particular boss fight, because Hemlock himself, personality wise, is a crazy person. So the Maniac vibe fits this character. It's just weird that he has a cover song, whereas the other characters don't have a cover song. They have more of an original, but it is still a fun song, and this song is so much fun. This cover version is a lot more fun than, in my personal opinion, the original. This is a lot more punchier, a lot faster, a lot more fluid, especially when you're trying to chain combos together. It's a lot of fun. One of my favorite parts of the song is at the beginning when you're having to do like a story counter and the lights change to like more neon. A lot of fun. It happens twice throughout the entirety of the level. It's so much fun, especially when you're transitioning, you try to dodge all the subways, and then you're inside of the subway, and then Hemlock cuts the subway, and then you're fighting him in the subway station, and then he transitions into like an open area, and you're fighting him as you're fighting enemies. Everything just flows so well because of how the tempo just fits, and that's why I like this over Rory's story, because the tempo is a lot faster, a lot more punchier. The space is a little bit more enclosed, so I can chain combos a lot more together. His attacks aren't as annoying as Rory's as well. Maniac is a great song. I love this boss fight. I love the look of Hemlock. He's a great bass punk rocker. Kind of reminds me of Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Fun boss fight overall. Love the flair, love the vibes, love the music, love the fight. X's fight from a musical and artistic standpoint is It's so impressive. I don't know who they got. Did they get Tim Henson from Polyphia in the booth playing the guitar? Because it is so impressive and it fits so well with Dex's character. Him trying to actually reach perfection in his craft and trying to outdo Charlie in terms of musicianship fits so well within this particular type of music. Very emo, very rock heavy, very chunky, very double bass-esque. I love every guitar riff in this boss fight. It is so nice, especially when you hit it on the right beat, when you're fighting all the enemies and you're syncing up all of your hits to the guitar riffs. It's so much fun. One of my favorite moments in this particular boss fight is when there's a giant version of Dex that kind of rips the background open and it hits on the right moment of the song. It's so visually impressive. It's so fun to see. I love every single stage transition in this particular boss fight, especially when you're fighting dudes off with the pyramid as you're trying to dodge Dex's lightning attacks. This is an impressive boss fight. From a technical standpoint, this is probably the most impressive song out of all of them, even though this is like my number 2 out of all the songs. But man, those guitar riffs, you got to listen to that if you haven't already. It is so much fun. Dex's fight is great. There are 2 reasons why I put Prophet's fight at number 1. One, I grew up playing a lot of the Def Jam fighting games, like Def Jam Fight for New York, Def Jam Vendetta, Def Jam Icon. I think those were the only 3 Def Jam fighting games that came up, but those were a lot of fun. And also grew up watching a lot of martial arts movies, so a lot of Jackie Chan, a lot of Jet Li, a lot of Bruce Lee, a lot of various martial artists over the years, a lot of Donnie Yen as well, watching Ip Man. And anytime you have martial arts mixed with hip hop, it just speaks to me on a visceral level that's like, yeah, I want more of that. So martial arts and hip hop will never get old to me, and having hip hop mixed with beat 'em up martial arts style is just so impactful, and it's so much fun, and chaining combos and doing all the hits to hip hop is impressive. I think Prophet's design is the coolest out of all of them. He has a literal Thanos gauntlet on one of his arms, so that's really cool to see as well. He just looks so cool. He's got a lot of drip, as the kids say, a lot of swag on him. I love that. I love that he uses words, and you can see the words throughout the fight. You can see him pop up in the background, and then eventually in the fight he actually uses those words to attack you in the stage transitions. So that's really fun. One of my favorite moments when he does that is when he gets into like this super fast flow, and you literally see the words coming out of the speakers, hitting the enemies behind you and hitting you. He is a tank and he will receive a lot of hits, but he will hit you super hard. So you got to be aware of what kind of damage he's doing. Make sure you're dodging, make sure you're countering. When you get his ability to counter with your own counter, that's a lot of fun as well. So it makes for a fun moment. You actually get a Shoryuken when you use his ability, so that's a lot of fun as well. The point where he brings in the cars and they start zooming and zipping around and hitting you and enemies are a little bit annoying, but not as annoying as some of the things that I found at the other boss fights. But overall, I think Prophet's fight is so much fun. Again, hip hop and martial arts speak so well to me, and that's why I love this boss fight, and is my favorite of the game so far. His other songs are great if you do them in the Infinite Disco as well. Yeah, Prophet songs are amazing. I hope you've been enjoying the game if you bought it already, and I hope after watching any of the videos that I put out or any of the other things that you've seen online have convinced you to buy this game. If you're playing the game right now, let me know down in the comments your favorite boss fight. Let me know what your favorite musical style is. As you can tell from my rankings, my favorite of all of these styles is the hip hop, just because it works so well with the martial arts. But let me know if there's a song that you put over this. Let me know if there's a song in Infinite Disco that you think is better than any of the songs in the story-based mission. So yeah, I would love to hear that in the comments. If you want to see my other video on Deadest Disco, kind of my full thoughts of what the game is and how it's doing and what my full thoughts are, I will put that at the end of the video as well. There is a roadmap that has been released for Deadest Disco, so you can check that out. I'll link that in the description of this video so you can see where we're headed in this game. But thank you so much for watching. My name is GK, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.
Do you know the difference? Listen, yeah, killer boys running the set, king boys in the beat, no grand. We got big toys for the big boys, and they come with tech. Do, no regrets. Shoot 'em up, cause I ain't missing a step.